There we go, everyone. And, I'm going to keep this one short tonight, so it's a energetic update. But also, I wish to point out some important uh, alignments to have at this time for, of course, those that resonate with it and also beyond would be great. So, having said that, before we begin, is there any topic that anyone wishes to bring up before I begin? All right. Well, what I'll do is I'll start off that first, Femke and I are in Romania, and we are doing very important co creator activations, if you will. And having said this, we are on the ground here physically um, activating. When I say activating, what I'm speaking about is purifying the energies to the maximum degree in reality. The energy that's attached with the memory imprint on the material ground, if you will, and also the energetic imprint that is constantly influenced by the human soul's intentions, their actions, their reactions, and their emotions. So, all of this adds to the energetic mix, the energetic soup, if you will. And in this great time of ascension, uh, of course, you know that the purity is the most important factor within each one to raise your vibration, and thus it raises your consciousness as well. And not only that, it's so important as well for the human souls that are ascending into their multi-dimensional aspects with their Merkabas activated. The purer one becomes, the more your Merkaba becomes activated. And when I speak about purity, I speak about clearing the impurities, the energetic impurities. And energetic impurities are your acts, your reactions, anything that is coming from a place of fear or deception, any place that you have within in you that is not in alignment with purity, with virtue, with integrity, with transparency, um, and of course aligned with love and peace and selflessness. All of these are higher um, virtues and attributes which assist with your individual energy substantially. So, having said that, um, getting back to what we're doing here in Romania is um, not everyone is the same with your energy, and to the degree of your purity, the stronger you become as an energetic empath, but also as a divine empath, and your ability to transmute energy, to reconcile negative fear based energy to positive love based, it increases with your purity, with the individual's purity. And what it also does, it expedites changing this reality as a whole. And the whole idea is for those that are ascending into, let's say at least 5D timeline, that there is the inner work that needs to be done to purify oneself. You cannot, let's say, go forward into the new reality if you don't purify yourself. Now, there's also another catch with this. What many will find, you have worked hard, you did your inner work, you purified your energetic field, you purified your acts, your reactions, your emotions to the higher density. And what you still find is that you're still subjugated to the lower dimensional world. And part of that reason is because also there's many other co-creators upon the planet, and um, let's say when these co-creators have not um, become more empowered themselves, they also become like an hindrance, an anchor to the others, because it's like a rubber band effect that the vanguard, for the most part, the leaders, the peers that have done most of the work, they cannot go forward until the back end, if you will, has purified their self enough as well. But the great news is, as being persistent, consistent, and as strong as the vanguard can be and keep the focus on the new, then what it does, it expedites the process because more of the new reality is created, and the bigger that space becomes, it becomes more dominant over the lower reality, and it begins to trickle more into the lower reality, which ushers those that were, let's say, stagnant or complacent, not doing their work. Then they are divinely incentivized to do it. And one of the ways this occurs is that the negative imprint they have left within them, they will be subjugated through multiple rapid experiences, confronted with what they are actually creating, so that they go into a surrender mode and at least say, hey, what's happening? Why is this happening against all astronomical odds, in my life? And it's at that point of surrender, then they're able to see that reality is not what they thought it was, and that there is something more going on. And of course, they began their uh, rapid journey with it. However, with these activations, what we're doing, it also has the potential, it has the great potential to shift reality. And with the strongest ones uniting together, and of course, keeping their highest uh, virtue, and also keeping their thoughts, their conscious thoughts, on the complete new world. This does so much more. And if there is enough in unison doing this, then it can create a flashpoint, if you will. So it is important, and as many of you know, there's no going back. You cannot go back to the old existence, the old way that it was. Ones may try, but very quickly they get rustled out of it, and that it would not work. Like, for example, go and get an old job or what have you. These things don't work because the upon the planet, it is the ascension, and that is the divine priority to take humanity forward. So with it, I need to say it's futile for any to fight from the human logic, and what they'll find is that there is truly something else going on the planet. So, with that, uh, so I put this as updates as well. What's been occurring for I with my physical vessel in the last 3 days? There's been intense periods where it's undergoing great change. This physical vessel is advanced into the crystalline process. However, it's not fully advanced yet because it's timed with the overall planetary ascension for humanity. Nevertheless, the last 3 days it's been undergoing great change again, and that is the uh, precedent for, let's say, what's to come in the near future with the higher timelines. And so this always these sort of things for this physical vessel, I have to be feeling it. It is a huge precedent where the organic vessel is being rapidly sped up, if you will, to vibrate at the higher rate and to acclimatize into a new reality. And having said this, also many others have been feeling it as well. For the last 3 days, most, but not all, it was a lot of the divine masculine would have been feeling this. And one of the reasons why there's a huge magnetic plasma, if you will, that's being delivered to the planet. And with magnetics, it's usually more favorable for the feminine that they'll feel more elevated. But with the masculine, where the masculine are more electric in nature in this dimension, it'll feel perhaps more uncomfortable as well. So we got a mixed bag of things going on. And of course, there's always the exception, if you will, to the rule, dependent upon what the divine soul is doing. For example, if a divine masculine is doing a very important contributing divine task, you could have, let's say, all of the divine masculine uh, more or less not bedridden, if you will, unable to move, while one is up very flamboyantly and high vibration doing a certain task. And I need to go to extremes to simply, show that there is exceptions to the rule as we keep going forward. But generically, there are the common themes with what ones at certain levels are feeling at certain times. You have so many different levels of consciousness and also advancement of the physical vessels. And the energetics is felt differently in these levels for the most part. But again, having said this, there are exceptions to the rule. So I rambled on quite a bit at this point. Does anyone have any questions or anything for topic? And as I said, I'm not keeping this very long tonight. It was oriented to very quickly get the higher consciousness out there and active to assist with the overall Lionsgate activation so we can propel the mission forward, if you will, and out of regurgitating old narratives and all of this. So, having said that, the floor is open. Any questions or any comments? Go ahead. It's pretty quiet, and I called this impromptu. I only gave 14 minutes notice. I didn't put this one out on Facebook, and for the divine reasons that it's important that at least this gets out, the energy with it. So thank you all that are joining here and contributing to the energetic thread as well. With this, what I will say, it's the more crystalline you become, the more impact and the more that you interact with, let's say, your phones, your computers, and uh, and one of the reasons for that again is because you have the crystalline plasma that is in the screens of many, or if not all, of your touchscreen phones and your computers, and especially with the phones when you touch the screens of your phone, the actual way it works is from your energy. So you can, to keep it simple, when you touch your phone to, let's say, tap in a comment or to even make a post, whatever you have inside of you at that time, however, whatever you're feeling, um, where the mode your consciousness may be in, you are adding that into the energetic mix. So I needed to bring this up because it's important for all of those that's in alignment with the new world, especially in this powerful Lionsgate time, to keep your focus on having, let's say, the new world here, the mission already completed. And by doing that, you also assist in erasing and omitting uh, any unnecessary steps in it. And also, by knowing this, we do have the potential, as I said, to create a flashpoint. Once we have enough worldwide of the human souls into a knowing, uh, with knowing their co-creator abilities and having it aligned for the heaven on earth to already be here, it can be instantly created, and it is and it will be created this way as well. So we can expedite things by um, having the cake and eat it too scenario, rather than thinking you have to have a piece of it at a time. And so we can expedite everything with it. And again, it's important to be conscientious of what, not only from your thoughts, but what your energy is putting in to anything you say or write uh, on the internet through your phones and your computers. So I'll stop there. Any questions or comments on that? Oh, cool. So it's pretty quiet. A little bit. Femke and I currently are at um, halfway up, if you will, Mount Busegi. Mount Busegi is about 2,200 meters high. We're sitting at an elevation of half that at around 1,100 meters. Um, just by being in the proximity of Mount Busegi, and of course, a lot of the truth about the area, but also being here and interacting with this area energetically is also moving things forward. What I need to say, around the planet, there are three 4 significant guardian host access rooms to reality. And there's only certain ones that will have the keys to access, if you will. I don't wish to say the holographic reality because really everything is real, but it's good to envision it this way that the reality is holographic to the sense that it can be changed quickly. And again, it depends upon the energetic input, what is put into these activations, um, not only in the physical proximity, but also by any contributing remotely. Um, because again, everything is energy, and the charge that you have on it is very important. So we are so far very successful. Apparently, we're always on divine time, but I would also like to say we're ahead of divine timing with what can be anticipated with the energetic effects, which is great news. And everything is going forward with these upgrading activations. And with this, anything that I always say and write, it's always confirmed with what we're doing for those that, when they begin to listen what we're saying. If they have doubt, once they follow long enough what is going on and participate in it themselves, they begin to not only see the confirmations that I or others may put out, but they also will see confirmations for themselves to show them the reality of it, how it is very and absolute real. So, once again, with that, it's always encouraged and suggested for any that are attracted to any energetic workout to begin to engage in it because that is actually your divine calling and your introduction to knowing that it is real. So, with that, any other comments or questions on these topics? Great. So, from here, what I will take it to is that I'm just unmuting a few more that came on. There is a lot that has been unsaid upon the planet for nefarious reasons. And you can look at it, in both ways that uh, from the higher perspective that everything is designed this way, but then you also can look at it from the hands on perspective, what you're dealing with that you need to master in the game. And having said that, one of the biggest things, part of the mastery, is that first knowing that the reality was the lie, and you began to discover more of the truth. And having said that, without going deep into that, because it is, pretty well basic and essential, that there's in Romania, there's so many, um, let's say, non-public things that are very real, that are beginning to, let's say, become a little bit more public, that also affects and changes reality greatly. So we are on the um, we are on the threshold of a lot of this new truth and technology coming out as well. And again, there's just so much that many do not know upon the planet, and but it it will be shared very quickly, and also it's being shared incrementally as we go forward, and ones become consciously aware of other things that are very real, and again learn more of the truth. Now, it may seem that I'm being a little bit cryptic or vague there, and I am right at this point because there is some more of this work that is in motion, and for divine reasons, not all is put out yet. For one reason, it doesn't need to be. And number two, that the ones that need to know about it, they are informed about it, and it's attached to their divine mission, and their divine guidance is activated individually, and they know what to do. And so with this, we have Mount Buchagi, we have Angkor Wat. Um, Divine Brother Lee Mudway is currently there in Cambodia, and this is also a very important area energetic wise. So, and of course, in Giza, Egypt, during this Lion's Gate, these major energetic points, let's say, will have groups in these areas also doing activation ceremonial work, what they are guided to do. Now, it's also to know that there are so many divine groups upon the planet that are part of the ground crew, and the way that all knows what they're doing is individually their guidance is opened up, and they follow that, and they know what they do. However, the huge ground crew operation is all connected to the one thing to take everything forward. And some of these groups and individuals may be oblivious to it yet. However, as we keep going forward, there will be more interconnectivity between the groups, and with that, more of the knowing will be revealed to them of that they have many other brothers and sisters and groups out there that were working on divine missions to facilitate the whole, and the whole being the planetary ascension. So it's all divinely designed and ascertained that everything goes forward. But again, it is malleable in the sense that it depends on what the souls choose to do, what the majority of the souls choose to do. The more action and focus they take towards the full new reality, the quicker it becomes. And also, if they become, let's say, stagnant to a degree, and become a little bit complacent or a little bit comfortable um, existing in the one reality, well, that slows things down somewhat. But what I will say also, that it is divinely assured that for certain ones, depending upon the divine roles they play here, that they cannot be come into an old world comfortable situation and be complacent and, let's say, bought by the old system with money. what occurs against all astronomical odds, and even unbeknownst to these divine ones, when it's time to step up in the divine clarion call to action goes out, what occurs with these individuals, no matter how they try, kick and scream, tooth and nail, um, they will be relieved of all material things, and they'll be put into a place of surrender, again, where they have no choice but to let go of the human logic, because what is occurring with them defies human logic. It defies all astronomical odds. And it's at that moment of surrender that they actually realize that there is something more, uh, with the reason why they're on the planet, and that they do have a certain divine purpose and role here. And then very quickly it becomes more clear for them to what they're to do. So everything is divinely orchestrated, but with linear time, we cannot put a time on it because of so many variables and the soul's choices. So, having said that, we transcend all time and space, and once the combined focus again is put into one area, it shortens everything. So we have many things that we are, that plays a role in how long the mission takes. So with that, any comments or questions before I go forward? All right. So, what I will be doing from time to time in the upcoming days, most at this point, up until perhaps between the 9th and the 12th of August, the period between now and up until, let's say, about the 12th, there will be certain divine requests that I put out on Facebook usually, and we'll put them out on Telegram as well, for any that wish to join in amplifying activations that we are doing. So, with any that it resonates with, the more the merrier, the stronger the effects. So, having said that, you may see some of this coming out as well. Well, you will see it, because again, we're upon the planet as a huge ground crew, and there's 4.8, perhaps 7 million at this time that are have a certain divine designation and role to play here, meaning that many will also answer the calls. So when I put out a divine activation request or what have you, it's requesting for ones that resonate with to participate with it and add their own guidance, and also the intent with the instructions that I put out. And sometimes these will be specific uh, request, specific instructions with the request, is how I should say it. So it's important to know that, and again, it's important to know that we really already won it, and what everyone is doing, everyone is to at least some degree tired, and so we know that, we recognize that from the highest divine level, and with this is, it's why, um, let's say, the solutions and the remedies are given, how you can expedite things higher and higher, and it's by participating, and it's by keeping the focus aligned with the higher reality, the divinity, and keep compiling the confirmations for yourself to instill the absolute trust. And this empowers you even more and takes you out of the doubt, out of the questioning, and out of the fear much quicker. And it's through the experiences at receiving the confirmations that leaves in the consciousness the biggest imprint to know that what is happening is real, it is true, and it is confirmed. So, through the experience, the individual experience, it does this to empower you more yourself quicker and to take you forward. But again, as I said, this is not an individual ascension, it is a planetary ascension, meaning you're connected to your brothers and sisters that are also going forward. However, the stronger you become as a beacon of light, you do impact the whole as well. And it's important to keep the focus on what you're doing, um, with taking things forward, what resonates with you, to do it to the best of your ability. And that also expedites changing the overall reality. So I'll stop there and I'll ask, is there any questions or comments? And if not, I'll soon wrap this up, but I'll wrap it up regardless. So, any closing questions or comments at this time?
Thank you, brother. Thank you for your time, bro.
Yeah, you're welcome, Bill, brother. Excellent. Yeah, you got a great handle on there, Bill, Ascended Master, and in reality, that's what 4.87 million actually are upon the planet, and for the most part, yet. But that could change in the next second. They don't know that they are yet. Uh, However, once they all do, then it's all done. It's all over, and we're into the new reality. So, having said that, thank you all for joining on this impromptu Saturday evening. And the summary is keep your focus on the reality that is the heaven on earth scenario. That's what gets it done quicker, no in betweens, and keep yourself purified, transparency, integrity, love, peace, uh, the harmony, and reconciling any negative energy you may pick up as soon as possible, and keep your fields as clear as you can, and keep your eyes on the skies as well. So much activity going on there, and keep your focus on the new reality that you want at this great time, between now and the Lions Gate on the 8th, right into the 12th. And without any expectations, let's see how much difference we can uh, make on reality in these next few days. So, with that, love, light, and gratitude, everyone. Thank you for joining. And this is recorded, so it'll be on my channel here, and anyone can share it and um, listen to it later. So, with that, I'm going to stop the recording This is a good